introduction to dimensions of religion in India. This week we will be discussing sociology of religion in India. The first two sections, sociology of religion in India and salient features of major Indian religions. There are many overlapping readings. The standard answer is that you begin with T.N. Madan, and he has many books. Sociology of Religion, or Religion in India, edited by Madan, one of the most popular undergraduate texts, since it is an undergraduate text. I have not included in MA course, but those who have not studied sociology at your graduation level may see it. But in case you are going to consult that book, you should also see that is again undergraduate textbook, Robina Robinson's Sociology of Religion as well. Here we have included two books of Ian Madan. One is 2004, Ian Madan, India's Religions, Perspective from Sociology and History. And we have in supplementary readings, Ian Madan, 1982, Way of Life, King, Householder, Announcer. But in Indian context, it is a controversial book. In European context, in American context, this is okay. You want to go deeper into this aspect, then two major senior sociologists, and both of them senior to T.N. Madan. One was actually his teacher, T.N. Madan's teacher, and the book was published later on because all his books were available in another format, that is A.K. Saran, 2007, Hinduism in Contemporary India. Actually, the publisher is Central Institute of Tibetan, Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies. A.K. Saran was the teacher of not only T.N. Madan, but he was also teacher of the founder of the center, Yogendra Singh. Then a senior colleague, not actually his teacher, but a senior colleague of T.N. Madan had also a book, A.M. Shah, Sociology and History, Dialogues towards Integration. This is 2015. Actually, this is collection of his papers, which he wrote over a long period of time. These are three major readings, but you can also read Iravati Karve, 1968, Hindu Society and Interpretation. Mittal and Thursby, Studying Hinduism, Key Concepts and Methods. Now, primarily for the second topic, salient features of major Indian religions, all these books will be relevant, but you can add two more books, B.R. Ambedkar, Buddha and his Dhamma, and A.K. Kumar Sharma, Hinduism and Buddhism. These are the major readings for the two topics we will be discussing. But I must say, there are lots of controversies regarding the nature of Indian religions, not only in India, but in the very science of sociology. The major reason is that almost every major sociologist had direct interest in India. For example, Max Weber has written a full book, Religion of India, and once it was a very influential text. Then Karl Marx has written one full book on India, and in two other writings he refers to India directly. Now Durkheim, he has also written about India, and may I ask the name of the book? And he has also referred to it in Suicide. But in Durkheimian sociology, his disciples have taken much more pain and care to visit India, number one, and revisit their studies, number two. Therefore, Marshall Moss, his nephew and collaborator, wrote two seminal works which is centered around the Indian data. Both are classics. One is The Gift, in which Marshall Moss discusses about the concept of Indian gift. And then with Hubert, another student of Durkheim, he has written a book, fat book like this. Uh, it is named On Sacrifice. Now, what do you mean by sacrifice? I know you do not know, but you will claim you know, and I have no problem. Actually, most of you, and which includes us as well, are mostly not conscious how words play dice with us. For example, in today's uh, Dainik Bhaskar, the largest circulating Hindi daily, uh, our great Prime Minister has a line, खुदा है खुदा है खुदा है और बहुत जल्द खुदेगा. Now, खुदा is not an Indian term. And Khuda means God the Almighty. But Mr. Modi is not using that Khuda. He is using another, and I will say secondary meaning of Khuda in Indian context. You know, Khuda means Gadha. Khuda means, suppose this is plain and you by hammer or by fork you make some hole in it. Now, in case you give this, you give this sentence to the Arabic people or a devout Muslim, how he or she will react. You, in case you have internet, and most of you have, you go on danikbhaskar.com and it is a leader story. खुदा है बहुत जल्दी खुदेगा, यहाँ भी खुदेगा. He is making a critique of Mr. Akhilesh Yadav. but he doesn't know what he is saying. A devout Muslim will have no objection to it. Because what you are saying, खुदा है, खुदा है, खुदा है, और बहुत जल्दी यहाँ भी खुदेगा, it means you are saying is Islam will spread everywhere. This is very good. And this is not that he doesn't know that it may be one of the meaning, because he is addressing the audience in Eastern UP where Muslim population is very large. Now my intention is not to ridicule anybody or anything. I just wanted to illustrate that how the same words will have different connotations and all may be valid in different people's mind. For example, there was a Sufi or Bhakti saint named Kabir in 14th century. He had a very popular couplet. कबीर दास की उल्टी बानी बरसे कंबल भीगे पानी. Anybody got it? कबीर दास की उल्टी बानी. Kabir said a proverb. बरसे कंबल भीगे पानी. Now, kambal is a blanket which you wear in winter, and pani is rain. What he is saying? That it is rain, blanket is raining, and water is being watered by blanket. Very, very wrong translation. I know I have not done justice to Mr. Kabir, and he will be very angry because he is around us. He is a spirit. He is no more in body, therefore he may be around us. And you may feel him or her, because the spirit has no gender, only the body has gender. And even the gendered body can be modified today through genetics engineering, isn't it? And also through yoga. Kundalini Jagran is about it. Therefore, you think that you are a boy and you think that you are a girl, but it is only in your brain, in your thinking. Through genetics engineering, after 3 days you can become a girl, and you can become a boy just within 3 days. It is medically possible. Ethically, I do not know. Your parents may be very unhappy because they have got you through God as a boy. In India, being a boy is very great. But it is in other cultures as well. Therefore, you cannot accuse anybody. Now, what I am trying to do? I am trying to make you aware how sociology of religion grew in India. And I had already made one remark in the last class. And the class was full, only I could see 9 students. The problem is with my eyes and not with you. Because in JNU attendance is not compulsory, therefore how do I know that you are not present? Therefore, there have been times when I taught empty class and they said there is no student. I asked them, how do you know? Because there is no attendance. And I am a religious person, and they all know it that I am a religious person. I said they were present in the spirits. Now how do you qualify it? I have no delusions about me. I told you many times. I am not a popular teacher. It is only that I have the maximum number of PhD students, MPhil students, and MA students. It doesn't make me popular. In case you come or they came to my class, they did not like me. But the only thing is that they did not dislike me. Because likeness has many connotations, you see. Now, what I wanted to say is that India has been an enigma. India has been an enigma, not only for outsiders but also for Indians. The question is why? Question is why? And this is the answer which we will deliberate upon. To the best of my knowledge, and I may be wrong, but this is not my belief, this is based on my study and research. All the religions are great in their own terms. It is not only my belief, it is also based on my scholarship of last 40-45 years. And 99.9% problems stem from bad translations. Now, 0.1% which was left stems from our ignorance. Now, let us begin with India. There had been useless debate in Indian sociology. It was started by a French person called Louis Dumont. He was editing a journal called Contributions to Indian Sociology, and it was being published from Paris. Now it is being published by Sage, and the office is in Delhi. And T.N. Madan was the founding editor of the India chapter. But it was a journal which was conceived by Louis Dumont and David Pocock. Now, in every number, you know, contributions to Indian sociology was published every year, and year is called volume, and in every year there are two numbers, number 1 and number 2. In every number or in every edition of contributions to Indian sociology, the last section was devoted for a debate. It was called For Sociology of India Debate. For Sociology of India Debate. And they carried one article by one of the eminent scholars regarding what type of sociology we should have to study India. He was a Frenchman, and who he was in France? He was a disciple of Claude Lévi-Strauss. And Claude Lévi-Strauss claimed to be a disciple of Marcel Mauss. And Marcel Mauss was a disciple of Emile Durkheim. And Emile Durkheim was a disciple of Auguste Comte. This is the genealogy or pedigree of Mr. Louis Dumont. And who is T.N. Madan? T.N. Madan was a student of Lucknow University, where there were 4 major teachers: Radha Kamal Mukherjee, D.P. Mukherjee, D.N. Majumdar, N.A.K. Saran. There were 4 major teachers when T.N. Madan was a student. Now, the students are very smart, like you. But there are some smart teachers as well, which I am not. You have ever invested in the stock market, or students treat teachers as different brands in the stock market. Therefore, although Radha Kamal Mukherjee was the greatest brand, the widely well-known sociologist uh, of the world of his time, all his books were published from United States of America. Therefore, it was not easily available for the poor India of 1950s. But he did not, T.N. Madan did not work under the supervision of Radha Kamal Mukherjee. He had his own calculations. When my teacher will retire, he will not be able to help me. This is the consideration even today. And this is profane consideration, which should not be the case with scholarship, because it is sacred, knowledge is sacred, sharing of knowledge is sacred. He rather worked with a person who was not only less well known but isolated figure in Lucknow Department of Sociology. His name was D.N. Majumdar. Now, with D.N. Majumdar, Madan wrote his first book, An Introduction to Social Anthropology, which was a very popular text in our time. Now, who was D.N. Majumdar? He was a student of Bronislaw University. Therefore, are you getting the difference between, Durkheim had three major followers in Europe. After his death, these sects emerged. These are not cults, these are sects. Durkheimian sect in sociology. One sect was led by Claude Lévi-Strauss. He claimed that I am interpreting Durkheim in the most perfect sense. Then there were two Englishmen. One was Bronislaw Malinowski and the other was E.R.L.T. Brown. Now, Malinowski's student is T.N. Madan and M.N. Srinivas is the direct student of E.R.L.T. Brown. Therefore, in some sense, sociology of religion in India has been very integral to the very development of sociology and anthropology as a science. Are you getting the point? It is not like Iran, or it is not like Latin America, it is not like Australia, it is not like even China. Sociology has treated China very savagely. You are very fortunate as Indians that you have been given lots of care and critique. A person who makes a critique of yours is not necessarily your enemy, because he or she is investing lots of time in you. Therefore, the problem of sociology of religion people in India has been that they have been from the very beginning divided into sociological sects, in the sense we had discussed sect in the religion. Are you getting the point? Therefore, for your generation of sociologists, sociology of religion means Durkheimian sociology of religion. Sociology of religion in India means Durkheimian sociology of religion to a large extent. Why? Because M.N. Srinivas was a very influential person. Then, in case you wanted a substitute, you had T.N. Madan, who was also very influential, and both, treated Emile Durkheim as the grandfather. One is influenced by Lévi-Strauss, T.N. Madan, some mistake. Initially, he was a student of Bronislaw University, and then Srinivas was a student of E.R.L.T. Brown. Now, the third major sociologist of religion in India is Yogendra Singh, who has written a book, very popular textbook, Modernization of Indian Tradition. He was also a student of Lucknow University, but he was not influenced by Radha Kamal Mukherjee. He was not influenced by D.N. Majumdar. Uh, he was a student of an economist working in sociology department. His name was Baljit Singh. But he was not influenced by his PhD supervisor. Instead, he was influenced by initially D.P. Mukherjee, Dhurjati Prasad Mukherjee, and he had very ambivalent attitude towards A.K. Sir, the two authors I have referred to. But before he came to jail, he was converted into a cult. They are sect leaders of sociology. He was converted to the cult of Mr. Talcott Parsons. He is a Parsonian, Yogendra Singh. Now, why cult? Because what is the difference between a cult and a sect? We have discussed it. I have also given you notes regarding cults and sects in my last class. Only to reward those students who are visible to my eye. Now, because in the case of Talcott Parsons, the principles are less important than the person's personality, Talcott Parsons is like a prophet. Talcott Parsons is like a prophet in a structural, functional sociology of religion. Whereas A.R. Adley Brown, Bronisław Malinowski, and Levi Strauss, they are sect leaders. They are sect leaders in Durkheimian sociology. Why Parsons is a cult person? Because he doesn't follow pure Durkheimian sociology. There is adulteration of sociology. And it is actually, it is like, Talcott Parsons is like Baba Ramdev. Baba Ramdev claims to preach, yoga and Ayurveda, but he is not selling Ayurveda. He is selling herbal allopathy, He is selling herbal allopathy. And what Talcott Parsons was doing? He was claiming, like Baba Ramdev again, that he is following Durkheimian sociology, but there is some sort of illicit relationship between Weberian sociology and Durkheimian sociology in the writings of Talcott Parsons. It is illegal. It is forbidden relationship, and his followers knew it, and therefore you find that Robert Merton, although he claims to be a follower of Talcott Parsons, had a different type of trajectory in his scholarship. Are you getting the point? The difference is that Robert Merton is primarily a sociologist of science, whereas Talcott Parsons himself is an economic sociologist. His primary interest is growth and development of capitalism as a social phenomenon, whereas Robert Merton is primarily interested in the social implication or moral implications of division of labor. Durkheimian sociology. Robert Merton is closer to Durkheimian sociology, so is Daniel Bale, although Daniel Bale is regarded as a Parsonian sociologist in America, but he is much more concerned with the moral dimension than Talcott Parsons himself. In Talcott Parsons' Sociology of Religion, you will find that cybernetics played a much more important role than moral cohesion. But at the moment, we are not discussing United States of America, we are discussing India. Therefore, I must say, these sociologists who are well known to your generation, M.N. Srinivas, D.N. Madhavan, Yogendra Singh, among many others, are third generation sociologists. They are third generation sociologists of religion. Therefore, today I would like to share uh, an overview of origin of sociology of religion in India. I said to you that Max Weber, Marshall Moss, and Karl Marx, they took direct interest in India. They are first generation of sociologists of religion in India. Therefore, in case somebody asks you, you please do not begin with M.N. Srinivas or T.N. Madhavan or Yogendra Singh. Rather, you should refer to the first generation, and they are according to Ramakrishna Mukherjee, the historian of Indian sociology. There are 10 Indian founding fathers of sociology of religion in India. Uh, he is right in a sense, but I disagree with him that all the 10 had equal importance. They are all founding fathers and they contributed some concepts in the elaboration, in the growth of sociology of religion in India. But out of 10, some are more important than the others. And they are second generation of sociologists of religion. At the moment, we are discussing the first generation. Then who they are, you make a note in case you are interested. In case you rely on memory, fine. Sociology of religion in India usually starts with Max Weber's book, for good or bad reasons. Uh, Sociology of religion in India begins in some sense with Max Weber's book, Sociology of Religion in India. And then you have this book, your original Indian book. It is a fat book and there is only 1.5 months. I will not recommend you to read this book, although it is terribly important. But it is not important for your end semester exam. But it is terribly important to understand the religion in India. Unfortunately, this is not read by majority of teachers these days. This is not easily available in the market as well. But we had a copy in the library, and some portions are available on the internet as well. The name of the book is, the positive background of Hindu sociology. Hindu sociology by Amit Kumar Sharma. Now, today we will devote the whole lecture to this book. He was not trained in Europe, first quality. Unlike G.S. Ghurye, M.N. Srinivas, T.N. Madhavan, they were all trained in Europe. D.N. Majumdar, again trained in Europe. K.C. Chattopadhyay, again trained in Europe. Patrick Gates, who founded Bombay School of Sociology, was trained in Europe. He is the first major sociologist who is not trained in Europe. His first quality, indigenous sociologist. And he was, in some sense, the founder of Calcutta School of Indian Sociology. And when Calcutta School of Indian Sociology was founded, it was founded 1 decade ago, uh, 1 decade ago than the Bombay department. The Bombay department is officially recognized as the first department of sociology in India, and the date is 1919. Do you know the reason? Because then we were ruled by Gaurang Mahaprabhu. Gaurang Mahaprabhu is the name of Lord Chaitanya for the Vaishnavites, but Gaurang Mahaprabhu is also a metaphor for white people, white race. And I'm explicitly using these terms because it should be used. Now, what is the basic contribution of this man? Amit Kumar Sharma founded the Calcutta Department of Sociology in 1907-8. And he was one of the very important leader of Swadeshi movement of Bengal, 1906. Are you getting the point? Therefore, he wanted to develop an indigenous sociology of India. He said, which was later on developed by Louis Dumont, Mackie Marriott, and T.K. Owen. Although nobody acknowledged him directly, but they all hijacked his concept, his theory, his perspective. Much before postmodernism, Vinay Kumar Sarkar developed this concept in 1906, 7, 8. Exact date is not known to us. That in case we want independence from the British rule, we need our own constitution. We should develop an alternative to Western liberal democracy. Why? Because Europeans claim that they are democrats, but they are democrats only in polity and not in economy. In case economy is also part of democracy, then we can follow the West. It was a revolutionary idea. Are you getting the point? He is claiming that Western democracy is a fraud. It is a media management, although media was, print media at that time. He is claiming that you are giving equality only in theory. Even after 1,000 years, you will not be able to implement democracy in society. Because political democracy is dependent on economic democracy. Without economic power, you cannot be sovereign. Your right of freedom is meaningless unless and until you are economically self-dependent, you are economically self-sufficient. Are you getting the point? Therefore, he said, religion or political freedom or religious freedom is possible only when every citizen of India is economically self-dependent. And for that, we need new concepts. For that, we need new theory. For that, we need new method. For that, we need new technique. I am delighted. After almost 100 years, his ideas have become much more important for the whole world. And his ideas are, being re-articulated by people in Greece. after the bankruptcy in Greece or after the meltdown, economic meltdown of 2007 September, many people are articulating similar views. I will not say they are followers of Amit Kumar Sharma. No. I am only saying that given one context, given a similar situation, most human beings will behave almost in a similar range. Not exactly the same, but you can divide the human response, human stimuli into ranges, into a ranges. Given, similar situation, most human beings will behave similarly. Therefore, the notion of natural superiority and natural inferiority is a cultural construct. In every society, people believe that some people are strong, some people are weak. Some people are more intelligent, some people are dumb. Some people are superior, some people are inferior. These are cultural notions. These are constructed notions. These are historicized notions. There is nothing natural about it. Are you getting the point? Now, why he is raising the question? And this is not the complete book. This is the edited, abridged book. Abridged, ये बड़ी मोटी किताब थी भैया, 20,000 पेज की. ये तो इसका गुटका है. गुटका, very, very brief summary. He gave 3 examples. He said that in the West, it is his words, not mine. In the West, they consider women as inferior to men. But in Bengal of his time, 1906, you go to any village, within 6 months, the new bride overpowers the husband, and there is alliance between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. This theme was taken over, although not acknowledged, by Lynn Bennett in a book, Sacred Sisters and Dangerous Wives. She had also studied Hindu family, and she said that I have asked men, and they are very fearful of their wives. They think that wives are dangerous because in one-to-one fight, no man is able to win over the wife physically. Gandhi had a different notion. Gandhi said, and it is in Ashish Nandi's book, At the Age of Psychology, that women are spiritually superior. He is saying, no, they are also physically superior. तो तुम लोगों की तो समझ में आएगा नहीं. Why? Because your notion is zero figure. तुम्हारा भाई खाएगा 8 रोटी, तुम खाओगी 1 रोटी. क्यों भाई? चमड़ी मोटी हो जाएगी. क्योंकि तुम्हारे माँ बाप ने तुम्हें एक्सरसाइज करना तो सिखाया नहीं. तुम्हारे न्यूट्रिशन कम कर दिए गए क्योंकि तुम्हारा परिवार मॉडर्न होता गया. मैं डेलिबरेटली हिंदी बोल रहा हूं. आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? You cannot claim equality, gender equality, in case you are not at par physically. Your intelligence is dependent on a particular type of nutrition. Do you know what? I referred in earlier class that the god of wisdom in India is Ganpati. And how he looks physically? Very unfit. because he has a pot belly. Have you seen any ancient or traditional saint in India who has not a pot belly? Any? They all have pot belly, even if they are lean and thin. Even if they are lean and thin, even they have pot belly. Your spirituality is measured from the fat you have accumulated here. Why? क्योंकि ये जो नाभि है ना भाई, नाभि समझते हो? यहां पर कुंडलिनी होती है हिंदू मिथ के अनुसार और रियलिटी के अनुसार, और तुम्हारी 99% बीमारियां भी यहीं से रेगुलेटेड होती है, तुम्हारे ब्रेन से नहीं। एलोपैथी और आयुर्वेद का डिफरेंस है। Now what is this? The fat here is not the same thing which is fat here. The fat here determines the quality of your brain's power. I am giving you empirical data. Those students, I am not talking about your generation, go to 10 years ago. Those students who worked 8 hours per day on computer have lesser number of sperm and ovum count. Why Europe is having lesser number of population? Why Japan is an old country? Older people are more and younger people are less. You know why? It is not because of their psychology. Psychology is dependent on biology. I have a friend, वो तुमने एक कहावत सुना होगा कि नया नया जुलाहा बहुत प्याज खाता है। जुलाहा means not Muslim, weavers. They are both Hindus and Muslims. Weavers are not only Muslims, they are also Hindus. दो जातियां होती है इंडिया में. There are two castes in India. One is a carpenter and one is a weaver. एक जाति होती है यादव. अभी क्या होता है, I'm sorry I am using Hindi terms deliberately today, because then you will not be able to frame a case against me. देखो ऐसा होता है कि यादव लोग जो होते हैं ना, वो दूध दूहते हैं, गाय का या भैंस का. वो कैसे दुहा जाता है? Have you seen anybody taking out milk from a cow or the buffalo? Imagine their physical posture. Then imagine the physical posture of a weaver. And then imagine the physical posture of a carpenter. And you imagine this and do empirical research even today. You will find that carpenters have lesser number of children than Gwalas or Yadavs. What does it mean? Your occupation and not caste. Your working time, not your caste or class, is more directly related to your belief system. Not getting? What Weber taught you? That Protestant ethic leads to a rise of capitalism. What is the sociological implication? That Protestant ethic has taught you how to count time. Protestants believe that time is money. But what is the Hindu belief? I have already taught you that in sociology, at least, Hindu is not a religion, it is a society. Hindu is not a way of life, Hindu is a society. Therefore, both notions are wrong. Hindu is neither a term which can be equated with religion, nor it is a term which should be equated with way of life. Why? Because every religion is a way of life. It is not only a Hindu way of life, there is also a Muslim way of life, a Christian way of life, a tribal way of life, a Marxist way of life, a BJP way of life, a CPM way of life. There is. Therefore, it is meaningless to say Hindu way of life. In the same way, in case you consider that Christian is a religion, Muslim is a religion, then Hindu is not a religion. What is Hindu? Hindu is a society. Therefore, read the books written in Sociology of Religion in India. What is the name of the book of B.K. Sarkar? They are not hypocrite. They are not saying Indian. They are saying Hindu. It is another matter that for the bhaktas of Narendra Modi, he is not a Hindu. Because he is equating that Hindu is a society. Why? It is a geocultural concept. Vivekananda was, appreciative of his work. So was Rabindranath Tagore. So was, D.D. Kosambi, the Marxist historian. Everybody liked him for the sheer originality of his work. For example, he says that people have supported and demonized Manu Smriti without reading it. Both the supporters and critics of Manu Smriti have not read Manu Smriti. Had they read, they would have appreciated that it had no influence in contemporary India. He is talking about 1906. He is claiming that Manu Smriti may be good or bad book. It is on you to accept it as good or bad, but it has nothing to do with contemporary India. It is useless book in Indian context. He is claiming that the Smriti or Hindu constitution, Hindu law, Manu Smriti is a Hindu law, which may be relevant for its own time, but it is as good or bad as any old book of any religion. No religion is static, every religion is a dynamic thing. It changes with space, time and situation. Therefore, he is claiming we should read Manu Smriti. And the day you will read honestly this book, you will find that this is a good book. The only problem is that it has no relevance for contemporary India. The book which has relevance for contemporary India, according to B.K. Sarkar, is another Smriti, Yagyavalkya Smriti. and Shukra Niti, not Chanakya Niti. There are 16 Smritis in India before Indian Constitution was written by Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar. To appreciate the greatness of Indian Constitution or to appreciate Ambedkar Smriti, you must read Mango Smriti. And then you will find why there had been 101 amendments in Indian Constitution until last year. When Indian Constitution was accepted in 1950, 26th January 1950, Indian Constitution was accepted after years of deliberations. And then by 2016, there had been 101 amendments, 101 reforms. This is a hard data, unrefutable hard data. What it implied that Indian society is neither static, it has been changing, nor resistance to change. Rather, it is open to suggestions, reform, and amendment from the very beginning. Therefore, a stereotypical image of Indian society, or for them Hindu society, is neither good for Indians nor good for sociology. Are you getting the point? We will take it up. Primarily, today there are 5 major sociologists who argue like this. One is T.K. Women. Second, the followers of Mackie Marriott, including Hilton Singer and Clifford Geertz. Third, admirers of Louis Dumont. Fourth, J.P.S. Uberay and his students. Fifth, Yogendra Singh, in a restricted sense of the term. And in case you consider me a sociologist, I am also one of the followers of this viewpoint that the concepts and theories of Europe are not mandatory or not useful to study every society. They may be partially useful, but they need amendments like Indian Constitution, accepts amendment. You have to amend. For example, my critique in the first class to Max Weber was, give me the name of one major industrialist of the world today, one global industrialist of the world today, which follows the Protestant ethic, and you will find none. Second, take 5 major industrialists of India. Who they are? Ratan Tata. He is a Zoroastrian. Dhirubhai Ambani's children, they are Marwadi Vaishnavites. Azim Premji, he is a Muslim. Ranbaxy people, they are Sikh. Birla, Kumar Mangalam Birla, he comes from again a family of Marwadi. But the difference between Ambani and Birlas are that they are both rooted in one area of Rajasthan, that is called Marwar. but the Birlas migrated from Marwar to Bengal, Kolkata, and the Ambanis migrated to Gujarat. Therefore, even among the Vaishnavites, there are sects. Vaishnava is a religion. In Hindu India, how many religions are found? Vaishnavas, Saivas, Shaktas. But all the three are minority. Do you know? What is the majority community among the Hindus? Anybody who claims to be a Hindu must know. They are minority. Vaishnavites, small number. Saivites, slightly larger. Shaktas, smaller than the Vaishnavas. Then what are the rest? And what is the religious term for them? You have already completed half of the course. You must have read somewhere. You must have discussed it among yourselves. And therefore I say I am not a good teacher. I could not motivate you to read. They are called a smartas. Smart log hai bhai. The majority of Hindu population is a smart population. And it is not known among the Hindus that they are smartas. And how old is Hindu religion? According to Western historiography, 10,000 years old. According to Hindu indigenous historiography, 32 crore 7 lakhs years old. And from the ancient time, they are known as a Smarta, but nobody taught you. Not your grandmother, not your mother, not your father, not your grandfather, not your priest, not your teachers. Who is teaching you? Who claims to be a Buddhist? I said claims to be a Buddhist. Because I do not know whether the Buddha is pleased to me or not, whether I am following him in later as a spirit or not. I try my best. And what was his teaching? Never be partisan. Never make a stereotype. Why? Because life is like a river, it is always flowing. There are never regular students and irregular students. Since I am a Buddhist, I do not remember what you did yesterday in my class. Even if you are not present, I will neither register your presence nor your absence. Because you are not the same person which you were 1 hour before. Are you getting the point? Therefore, what distinguishes Buddhists from others, which I will teach of course tomorrow, is that we do not consider social structure or the concept of person as solid. We think that society is liquid. Society is liquid, even person is liquid. Therefore, ex-Marxist sociologist Zygmunt Bauman has got a book, Liquid Modernity. This is our term. But we do not expect him to claim that he is a Buddhist. Buddha never expected that we will call ourselves Buddhist. Are you getting the point? Therefore, it is my Buddhism which tells me to always remind me you are not a good teacher. The day I will become a good teacher, my body will evaporate and I will be a pure soul, which I do not want to be. Therefore, I want to be perpetually imperfect person, imperfect husband, imperfect father, imperfect teacher. Because the world is imperfect, perfection is a goal which is never realized in this body. The day you realize it, you become God or goddess.